Hey everyone, Tom Reimer here, the percussion manager at Dynasty. I am joined today by David Skogen. He is the director of Shadow Indoor. David, how you doing today?
Awesome.
Good, man, good. We are here to talk a little bit about the program, about the 2017 production, and then about just your experience, the group's experience with the product. So I guess start with telling us a little bit about Shadow Indoor.
Shadow Indoor is independent A percussion ensemble. We've been around since about 2009, and this will be our. I think we started going to WGI in maybe 2011, and yeah, I've been the artistic director there for a little while. So the group is kind of young in WGI years, but we had been doing the summer marching band circuit for years before that, and then also Shadow Drum and Bugle Corps became a thing last year, and I kind of serve in the same capacity there, artistic director, percussion coordinator. And we're all high school. That's probably like something that's worth mentioning to people is that like we compete independent and open class in DCI, but we're an all high school group because we're supported by a school district, which is an uncommon phenomenon. But for us, it makes sense, especially for WGI, because our district and the area we're at in the country isn't exactly a hotbed of marching arts activity. So we try to draw in the people we can around Madison, Wisconsin, the high schoolers anyway.
Cool. Excellent. And can you tell us just a little bit about the 2017 show? What it's called?
Yeah. 2017 production is called The Fortress of Solitude. It's not about Superman. It's also not about the John Lethem novel of the same name. It's basically just about the idea that as we kind of go throughout our lives, we do a lot of things to kind of build walls for ourselves to kind of protect ourselves against other people or to protect ourselves from being hurt, but also as a way to kind of create others, or like what is considered otherism or whatever. And it's a way that we kind of blame others for our problems and our feelings and things like that. And that by building these walls around us, we are essentially making our experience a lot worse, making it harder to connect with humans on any kind of real level, and making the kind of the richness of our experience a lot worse. So the show is basically about those kind of fortresses that we build for ourselves, and trying to break those down. And the way we kind of employ that metaphor in the show is that there's some cages that move around the show, but there's also the performers are kind of covered in full lycra black masks, and throughout the show they kind of are finally encouraged to reveal themselves or become thinking, feeling humans that are trying to connect to things outside them, as opposed to kind of being shut in and not having a face and not connecting with the audience and all those kinds of things. So essentially it's one of those shows that is about transcendence to some degree, which I feel like there's only, when you get right down to the meat and potatoes of it, there's only like a handful of drumline shows in the whole world. Like some of them are about transcendence. Some of them are about a big trick, a big reveal or whatever. I feel like I tend toward those shows that are a little bit about transcendence, because I feel like that's the thing about the activity and music and teaching in general that's the most exciting and kind of keeps you wanting to do it, especially with this age group.
Excellent. And one other thing, love to talk a little bit about your experience with Dynasty products.
Yeah, I mean, we switched to Dynasty last year. So far I've had a great time with the gear itself. The drums themselves are much sturdier than the equipment we had previously been using. The sound quality, I think, I'm not an expert, but I feel like the design components that have changed for Dynasty in the last few years have been really awesome steps up from what had been going on. And I remember previously, before we got our new drums, thinking that I just wasn't getting enough snary, enough sound. I wasn't feeling like the quad tuning was consistent enough, and a lot of those types of things I have been really, really happy about. Love the way the snares sound. The way the quads are set up with the mounting system, which is different than any other company, obviously. I think keeping the drums level is so much easier. I feel like it also, the consistency of the head, the tension on the head is better. And we have less issues where like we're not having to tune as constantly, and it's easier. The the drums stay in tune better. And in general, everything's been really great. And we've used them now for one winter and one DCI tour, and the drums are still in excellent condition. And obviously, we get to work with you, and so like customer service has been really great. We've been like, oh, we're missing some of these things. Oh, this stand, we need a, and it's always like, get it right away. I mean, that's one really great thing about having the company so close to us too, is that it's not hard to reach out. And I feel like that kind of person-to-person relationship is really important, and it feels very personal and personalized at Dynasty, and I think that's really helpful too.
Excellent. Well, I want to wish you the very best of luck at Dayton. I hope your kids play really well and get multiple shows, and I hope it all goes great for them and for you guys.
Thanks very much.